Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good day all around to our business owner friends from around the world. I'm Terilee Harrison. I'm with Team Referral Network Virtual Chapters, and I'm here to welcome another amazing guest to talk live. I'm going to be visiting with Michael DeHaan. Michael, welcome. So glad to have you with us.
Thank you for having me, Terilee. I'm really excited about it. Thank you.
Oh, no, I'm so delighted to have you on and to be able to chat with you a little bit about what you're up to in the world. Michael's doing amazing things, everybody.
No, I agree. It's all good work, but thank you for sharing.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So I'm going to start by you can get to know. So Michael, Care to Grow, a firm with a strong history in financial planning and building wealth through property. They focus on their clients' financial well-being and transform negative financial mindsets and beliefs to help them live their best life. So, Michael, you probably haven't been part of this in this work forever. Tell us a little bit about how you got into doing this work.
Yeah, really good question, Terilee. So my background is financial planning, has been in banking for over 35 years, showing my age a bit. But what I found out probably about 4 years ago is that there's nothing around financial well-being. So, where does a 30-year-old go to learn about money? And I just see so much financial stress out there. And I started to go, I need to do something different. I need to really work with clients around their mindset, their behavior around money, and take away that financial stress, which I've got a story, to share with you about what I went through and I suppose my mission and why I'm actually gone down this path. Did you want me to share that? Yeah. So I've been in banking, financial planning, dealing with money all my life, and I know how to invest. I know how to, place money in shares and things like that, but I never knew my behaviors and beliefs around money. And what I found was everyone looked at me and said, he's very successful. He's got a good business. He's in the corporate world. He's doing fine. And I probably, on the surface, I was doing fine, but I had a lot of limiting beliefs and behaviors around money. I was brought up in scarcity with money and being worthy. And so what I found myself sort of self-sabotaging and continually under financial stress. And what that meant to me, and I didn't really realize what that was doing to my body, continually under that sort of stress. And what happened was it was probably about 15 years ago, just started to get anxiety, and my body, as I said, was going through stress, anxiety, and then I went down the pathway of depression and sort of worked, I suppose, with psychologists around that just to try and get myself better. And I didn't know what was happening. I didn't really know what I was doing wrong or doing different. I was doing the best that I could in my life. And I got sicker. So I was actually diagnosed with prostate cancer, a fairly aggressive prostate cancer. Knocked it on its head, which I'm grateful for. But I started to go down a pathway that I need to change. I need to look at what's going on. Why am I getting sick? And looking at the sort of stress. And it was all around this financial stress, around the programming and stories I told myself as, whether I'm worthy or not, because that's what I was brought up with my parents. Unfortunately, about a year later, with my family, I separated from my wife. I was married for 22 years, and this is a part of this sort of financial stress. I made some poor decisions, self-sabotage, and we just got to a point there that we'd grown apart. And so I lost a marriage in regard to that. And really all that coming together has put me on that pathway to actually look at financial healing, look at healing for myself, and just getting my story right. That's my story is around financial freedom and allowing myself to receive money, allowing myself to have abundance. And I've met a beautiful new wife, and we're working together on some common goals, and it's really exciting. And it was very much just around behavior and mindset, Terilee.
Your story is so important because it allows us to know you and to relate to you and And it could be that we might think that we have a money mindset issue, but we might think, oh, well, Michael never went through that, right?
Yes. Yes.
And your journey and your understanding, it just allows us to welcome you into our world, and know that you get us. So I so appreciate your vulnerability and sharing that. So for our listeners today, as Michael comes in and has shared with us he's willing to bet, if you could see our listeners raise your hand, I bet they all would raise their hand. So let's talk first about tip number 1, align your subconscious beliefs and programming with your conscious goals for the business. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, and what I found was a lot of my education and learning is that really your whole world is really 95% run by your subconscious mind. And I want to share with you, as I said, 95% of the decisions you make, the way you live your life, is from your subconscious, which is programs, stories that you've told yourself, behaviors. And what I found was with only 5% being conscious, which is your rationale, setting goals, if they're not aligned, you're going to find yourself self-sabotaging. And I want to share what I see in businesses, how that sort of plays out. And that's a lot of business owners not charging what they're worth. I see that a lot. I actually see business owners that really, I've got to push them to actually send out invoices. They feel that reluctant to actually get paid for service that they've already provided. And so that's a form of self-sabotage. They procrastinate. So they actually put off making decisions, again, a form of sort of self-sabotage. And just not really, as I said, looking after clients and not following through, because if you do that, again, you'll get that abundance and you'll get the financial freedom that you might feel not worthy of. So these are just some ways that I see it playing out, that it's that alignment piece between conscious and subconscious mind is so powerful. If you get that right, you can achieve anything in your business.
So often we meet people that are they're financial planners, and they help guide us on where to invest our money. And I don't think that most of the time they even deal with this. So I love it that you know how important this is. And I can't tell you, over the years, there was a while that I'm with my work, you can imagine how many financial advisors I meet over the years, and I would meet them and think, wow, I should really talk to them. I should really talk to them. And I would set appointments and, oh, God bless those, because I wasn't ready at the time. And I would just put off the appointments, and then I would meet another one and think, oh, I should talk to him too. But it's so true. It's so true what you're saying. And I bet I'm not the only business owner that feels this way. Let's talk about tip number 2. Set your lifestyle and financial goals on what the business needs to provide you to build that freedom. Tell us more about this.
And I think this is a really key point, Terilee, where a lot of businesses are just caught in their business and they just believe there'll be a payday 10 years down the track, 20 years down the track. The business will look after them. They'll be able to sell the business for whatever. That'll fund their retirement. And the fact is that won't happen. It might happen. So let's sort of park that for a moment. But it's really understanding what the business should do for you in regard to paying you a good salary and being profitable. Because what that allows you to do is it allows you to build financial freedom. So the business is serving you. I find a lot of business owners, they're servants to their business. And to sort of flip that around, I want to share a story with you. Again, I love storytelling. That I'm working with a woman that owns a real estate business, and she didn't understand the flow of money. She didn't even understand the expenses in the business. We sat down, went through that, and then looked at her sort of personal expenses. And what we found, she was sort of struggling a bit with the business. She didn't have clarity around what her goals were. And we sort of sat down and worked out some really things that she's quite passionate about in regard to her goals and what the business needs to look like. And what happened is that she actually started paying herself a good salary, a salary that she was worthy of. she was quite proud of herself. So had that dependency. So she was quite independent, sorry. And she was actually putting extra money away to buy her first investment property, which is really exciting. So we've got a sort of a 6-month plan to purchase her first investment property. And this is just, again, being really clear about what you want and how the business needs to serve you. And her mindset around money and her behavior, her business is going extremely well. She's sort of building, money's flowing into her, which she never understood before. And she's using it in a way that's going to set her up for the life that she wants. So that's just, as I said, don't be a servant to your business. Your business should be a servant to you, and be really clear about what your business needs to do to achieve that.
Very good. Very good. Now, tip number 3, ensure that you understand the flow of money in your business and your personal. So intentional spending brings empowerment. So talk to us about the flow of money in our business and our personal flow of money.
Yeah, so what I find is that people just don't know how money's coming in and how money's going out. And I sort of do the vision around someone carrying around a bucket and there's leaks coming out of it everywhere, both in business and personal. And they're saying, I'm working hard. I'm got a good income coming into the business. I just can't get ahead. I'm just stuck. I don't know what else to do. And what they don't understand is just the flow of money. So how it's coming into the business, what they're spending, are they getting the best deal down with clients, and just look at what I call, it's a budget, but I call it intentional spending plan, because that's empowerment. And I just talk to them about, what do you want to spend? How's it going to be a service to you? And, things like I see a lot of people, they got home loans, 500,000-600,000, and they're paying 1.5% above what they should be. And that's $7,500. You add that onto some other things in regard to an intentional sense and going, we can save you $12,000, $14,000, $15,000 a year just by being smart, being deserving around how your money flows. Don't let it walk out the door. Just be in control and just find out what the best deals are. Find out, we enjoy coffee. That's my Dutch heritage maybe. But but we sat down, my wife and I, and said that if we cut back on 2 coffees a day, there's $3,500 a year. And that doesn't, going without 2 coffees a day isn't a big deal. $3,500 to go on a holiday, even up to Queensland, whatever, that's a good deal. So it's just being in control and you choosing where your money goes and making sure that if there's any leaks in the bucket, you know where they're going and you're comfortable with it. Either that or patch them up and allow that sort of flow of money to overflow the bucket and create abundance.
That's so good. I think that is shocking to me how much money we spend eating out.
Yes.
And I bet we're not the only ones. Just like that was your coffee example. But yeah, just how much we spend eating out, and how if we just had a plan for it, as you say, we were intentional about it, how different that could be. So very. Can I, now, this is not planned, everyone, but while I have Michael and we have all this going on in the world, Michael, all this is, are thinking about, how do I save my business? Some of us have moved, most of us have done something to shift what we're doing in our business. What would you say, just from your experience, to those who are feeling that financial stress right now? What guidance would you give to them? This is your bonus tip, everybody.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in leaning in. So a lot of people are going through stress and going, what can I do differently? And sometimes you don't have the ideas. We have blind spots, all of us. And what I've found is reaching out and just telling people my story, where the business is at. And I've got a lot of great people around me that can actually just challenge me and just say, have you thought about that? And I've pivoted to doing online courses around financial well-being. And it's going out to the world in a sense and staying true to label and still on mission, but it's just another way of creating business and supporting people to live their best life. So that was brought on by COVID. Maybe I would have done that in a year's time. But it's really for me to go out and someone said, well, why aren't you online? Get off your horse and, get out there. You've got to tell more people. So it was me, as I said, reaching out, and I'm a big believer in that, and males aren't good at it, generally speaking, but asking for help, I think would be my number one strategy. There's many people out there that will give you great advice.
Okay, so did you hear what he said? He had advice that was given to him. He was open and coachable, and he took action otherwise. And I think for all of us, it's in that not becoming paralyzed in this moment. It is in what can we do and what can we do now. That is great. That's great. So I want to, Michael has a wonderful way to connect with him, and he has a great call to stay in the conversation with him. So Michael, will you please share with us about your money type quiz, etc.?
Yeah. So what I'm offering is that on my website, you've got it there. So you can actually do the money type quiz, which is really your emotions around money. I normally don't do that. I normally just offer a discovery meeting. But from that, what we'll do is we'll sit down, get an idea of what your money types are, what might be holding you back, and actually have a discovery meeting from that. So it has more value as opposed to just sort of asking questions, where are you, where do you want to be? I'll actually get an understanding of some of your limiting beliefs and behaviours before we even speak, and we can talk to that. We can give that a voice, for the sake of a better word. So I'd love to do that. As I said, helping people to be financially empowered is certainly, I get a lot of joy out of it.
Well, I can see that, and I'm so appreciative there are people like you out in the world that are helping us, because people these days, especially our business owner friends, we set our goal, we put down our why, we go and make it happen, and yet here we are, and we're struggling because we haven't dealt with the things. So thank you for being around to help us with the things, so that we can actually have the freedom that we're working so hard for. We won't have to work so hard. So yeah. Michael, always a pleasure to see you. It's been a joy to get to know you better, even as we network together every week, to hear you say, oh, I'm working on my course, and is your course ready?
It's ready, yes. Yeah, I've got some people that have kept me pretty accountable.
That is awesome. That is awesome. We all need that. Well, good you. And if you resonate with Michael, I want to invite you, please connect with him. And I'm here to support Michael in everything that he's putting out to the world, so that he can help more people achieve the freedom they're looking for. So Michael, thank you for your time. Look forward to having you back as a guest again, when you can share some more amazing tips. And everyone, have a fantastic day.
Thank you.